Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at FET AI. So one of my favourite trades, I suppose, from this. Well, I suppose when did it start? It did start this year, wasn't it? So yeah, favourite trade from this year so far. Still carrying on, and when you really think about what it's done since the signal that we traded from, so far it's up to the tune of 1,173%. Normally, for a lot of people, and I would not blame you at all, taking profit around these areas, or even if it were to be taking some profit around these areas, pretty wise decision. Up already, like I say, 10x, and 10x have been quite a normal part of this year for some of these smaller cap tokens like FET and Holochain and a few of the others, Seller even, the IEO coins as well. So and StormX, a lot of these tokens that we were looking at last year and trading between last year and this year. I mean, 10x has become almost standard behaviour, but they're all built upon different kind of signals. Now, this signal is still in play. The conversion baseline cross coupled with a golden cross with extreme divergences taking place, and also none of these oscillators on the daily, at least, are overextended. The only thing of concern is the weekly, which, again, I wouldn't say it's concerning. We've had areas where we've been outside of this Bollinger Band week after week after week after week after week. But sailing outside of a Bollinger Band on a weekly for too long can obviously have a bit of a side effect. Nothing likes to be outside for too long, and we had to pull back with 30%. It's not the end of the world. I mean, at this moment, we're forming a new weekly candle. Last week's candle was well, I suppose a little bit of a deadly one. But what we really want to know is, are we going to have continuation of this trend? Is this going to keep going? How far could it possibly go? Well, I mean, if we look at the weekly on its own, we zoom out on its tether pairing, it's basically all-time high at the moment. I mean, it's just made an all-time high today. But if we look at the way that the oscillators are formed, we do have a small but no way near confirmed bearish divergence taking place here. Money flow index is quite high, but can obviously go higher than this, and MACD is obviously pretty bullish still. Volume is pretty good throughout. So on the weekly, on Tether is pretty good. Now, if we have a look at the way that it looks like on the weekly for Bitcoin pairing, it's telling a different story. What it's saying here is that yes, we are overextended, definitely. When it comes to money flow index, we can obviously go higher, but it's pretty high. It's a representation almost exactly of the weekly on its tether pairing. But the interesting thing to look at here is where could it possibly go? Now, we have clearly found rejection over the last couple of weeks at this level here. No big surprise there. We had a top here, we had a blow off top moment here, we had a top and another top. So this is the area for its Bitcoin pairing to be rejected from. But breaking above here and closing above here, plus this isn't a signal to be in any way particularly excited about, but we do have conversion baseline over here. We do have divergences across the board, almost exactly how you'd like to see in a bullish uptrend. So this one on sats does look like it wants to go even higher, which sounds crazy when we think about how far it's actually gone anyway. It's gone over 10x and about 11x from where we bought it from only a couple of months ago. So to imagine it to go any further than that does sound a little bit greedy. And like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't blame anybody for wanting to take profits around these zones. We are at a resistance when it comes to Bitcoin pairing. So that in many ways should tell you, maybe you should sell here. But if we did break above this level, and I'm not saying that we will, but if we did break above this level, then the next zones do sort of measure up to between here and here. So if we were to measure those zones, so we've got another 30% move to there, we've got another 119% up to around these zones, which is where I would imagine that an actual significant pullback would take place if we were to get there, and that brings us to around about 2,763 sats. That would, in my opinion, be the absolute top if this were to actually able to make that move. Again, yes, that's another 121% move. So for those who got in, at the bottom of this trade, with me when I was teaching the how to use the Itchy Cloud on the Patreon, and we use this chart as an example of essentially a perfect entry, and an entry that, well, I said that I would trade it until we get the exit point with the Ichimoku cloud. So I did say that it was a perfect entry, and it's proved to be pretty accurate so far. And again, that's not me blowing my own trumpet. I'm simply telling you what an indicator has told me. And if you put your trust in these indicators and you trade them appropriately, then you should get decent results. So it's not about what I'm able to do. It's about what this indicator is able to do. It's not anything other than that. So, like I say, please don't think that I'm being arrogant or anything like that. I didn't do this. The indicator told me, instructed me to get in on this trade, and it should instruct me to get out. Now, obviously, it wouldn't tell me to get out at the top, but it would tell me when the trend has ended. And at the moment, as far as this indicator is concerned, the trend is far from over. We would need this Chiku span here to touch the price action, or we would need the conversion baseline to make a negative cross, and they're obviously still diverging pretty much away from each other. It's looking pretty good, in all fairness, and I'm not saying it would double from here. I'm saying that it could double from here. Remember what I said, we are at a resistance here at the moment. We are at resistance. It looks like we want to break it, but remember, this is not perfect. This is a weekly chart, so there's lots of price action that takes place within a weekly chart, and we did break above it here where we had our blow off top moment. We could be blowing our top off once again, and that is a very realistic possibility. But as far as the chart's concerned, this isn't a super bullish chart here, particularly on these moving averages, nor is it on the Ichimoku cloud. We've got a cross beneath the cloud, but we are in a green area of that cloud, so if there were to be a move, it would be in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, probably 4 weeks. If it can do something in the next 4 weeks, that's when it has the opportunity to do something in the next 4 weeks. If it fails to do it in the next 4 weeks, I think it probably will have ended its trend. So we'll give it another 4 weeks and we'll see where we go from here. And like I say, there is a relatively, if not, it's not probable, but there's a realistic possibility, I should say, that it could do another 100% from here, which would be absolutely amazing for those of us who got in, at that 5.5 cent zone. Anyway, that's all I really have for you on FET. But if you want to join my Patreon, it's £7.50 a month for the basic package, but that will give you access to 2 live streams every week. They usually go on for about 2 hours, and we look at dozens and dozens of charts. And you also get access to some of my training material that you find there. But other than that, you can join my Telegram chat, which is absolutely free, and just chat away about charts and coins. Anyway, I thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and take it easy.